Good morning, everybody, or if it's not morning when you're watching this, I hope you're having a lovely time of day, no matter what time it is. This is gonna be a messy video because I have not really planned out any of this, and it's not a weekly wrap-up because I'm gonna explain that. Today is the first day of Cozyathon, a very relaxing, cozy autumnal readathon created and hosted by Sylvia K. I will link her announcement video with her descriptions of all of the challenges and stuff, so you can go check that out. And I encourage you to participate because it sounds like it's going to be really relaxing and a lot of fun, and very different from other readathons that I've done. The point of this seems to be to do fun, relaxing things rather than focusing on finishing and starting a certain number of books within a certain period of time, which I enjoy, but I am harnessing the theme of this Cozyathon and I'm applying it to the rest of my life right now, just for some time out relaxation. In September, I started feeling like I was getting a bit panicky about nothing in particular, but everything in general, which was ridiculous. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to read a bunch of things and certain priorities, and I had all this other stuff going on with fun things that I wanted to do and life commitments and work stuff, and I just thought, Rachel, why are you doing this to yourself? You really don't have to. This is supposed to be fun and more relaxing, you know? So for the next 2 weeks, as the readathon runs from the 1st to the 15th, I am going to wipe the slate clean. I am not going to stick to a video schedule. I'm only going to make videos when I feel like it, when I have time for it, when I want to talk about something. And I'm really only going to read when I want to, when I really want to, and read whatever I want, with complete disregard for my list of priorities that I usually have for my reading, and just enjoy things. I may actually do less reading because I'm working on my next Afghan project, which I should probably take a picture of because I don't want to get up and go pick up all the blocks, but I shared the end of my last Afghan project some weeks ago, and I talked about wanting to start the next one because there's something about finishing a project that makes me want to dive into the next one immediately, no matter how long it took me to finish the previous one. But this next Afghan is going a lot faster. To give you some context, the Afghan I just finished had 116 blocks, and it took me 3 years to finish all of those blocks, and a couple of months to finally get around to putting it together. This next one that I'm making right now has 252 3.5-inch hexagons, and I'm juggling 10 different colors. I've already made 40% of the blocks, over 100 of them I think so far, in 7 days. I am not even exaggerating. I don't know how I was doing this. I just did it. I've been on fire. And I'm going to be doing a lot of that over the next 2 weeks because I am still really into this project, and maybe I will even make all the blocks by the end of October. That would be awesome. So we'll just see what happens over the next 2 weeks. But anyway, the next part of this video will be me going through the Cozyathon challenges and talking about, frankly, probably all of them that I'm going to attempt doing. And I don't really have a TBR of books. I'm going to count anything that I want to read that I'm currently reading, that I started before the readathon began, and I have a couple of options that suit like 2 of the challenges that specify like audiobook or a certain type of book, and very, very low commitment, which is all the things that I'm about right now. So let me put this down. So there are 15 challenges, which seems like a lot, but they're pretty simple things. So challenge number 1 is read in a coffee shop, and I've actually wanted to do this for a while. I have a place to go, and I have a Friday off during the readathon when I could go do it. So this may happen. Number 2 is read in a bathtub, which I have never successfully done, but I have been saving the birthday cake bath bomb from the last book bath box for a special occasion, so I think that's gonna happen. Number 3 is read an entire book by candlelight. I'm probably not gonna read a book, I'll probably read a magazine or something, but I have a lot of candles. I recently rounded up all the candles in my house and said I need to finish burning some of these. They're just literally catching dust, and I have a new one I need to start. This is True North Campfire. This is something that Natalie sent me, and it smells really good, and I want to try burning that. Next, I lost my place. One of my favorites. Read while wearing fluffy socks and a cozy jumper. The weather got very cold today, so I may do this one very soon. It's a very cold, damp Sunday morning. Did I mention I just woke up 30 minutes ago? I also have an addiction to sock dreams, which if you don't know what sock dreams is, go check them out. I've been buying socks from them for 12 years, I think. I don't live in Portland, but it's like having a little bit of Portland awesomeness delivered to my door. Number 5 is read while listening to relaxing music. I can do that. Number 6 is read while sipping a comforting hot beverage of your choice. Well, yesterday I bought hot chocolate and I have rum that I'm gonna put in it, so those are my plans. Number 7 is read a chapter first thing in the morning. I could probably do that. Oh hey, it's raining again. Cool. Number 8 is read a book purely for escapism. Yeah. Number 9 is read a book with the word chocolate in the title. Like Water for Chocolate by an author whose name is escaping for me is on my tentative TBR because it's translated, and I will be picking that up from the library soon. I didn't find anything else with chocolate in the title that I really wanted to read, so that's gonna have to count. Number 10 is read a book with an autumnal cover. Well, I have this. This is the latest issue of Lady Churchill's Rosebud Wristlet. It's red. Fall leaves, that sort of thing. So I might use this and double it up for reading by candlelight because it's quite short. I also have Unquenchable Fire by Rachel Pollack, which has more oranges and stuff. There's just something about this cover that actually really reminds me of fall and chilly weather or something. I don't think the book itself is autumnal. I read the first chapter of it a long time ago and it's gonna be weird, but maybe this one will happen. The next 3 challenges are all going to be the same thing for me. Number 11 is reread an all-time favorite, which is going to be The We Free Men by Terry Pratchett. I'm listening to the audiobook of this right now, and Stephen Briggs does a really good job narrating it, but I just want to say that nobody's going to beat my dad's rendition of this book circa 2004. It's the best thing ever. Number 12 is listening to an audiobook while baking. This is one of my favorite things in life, so it will definitely happen. And number 13 is do exercise for at least half an hour while listening to an audiobook, which I think is a really good challenge for a readathon because, as has been pointed out to me by Paul, sitting for long periods of time during readathons can be really bad for your body. So I should actually get back on that recumbent bicycle in my basement or take a walk or something. Number 14 is treat yourself to a book you've been craving for a long time. Frankly, this is one that I already own. It's All Systems Are Red by Martha Wells, one of the Tor.com novellas, which I would like to read during this readathon, but I'm holding off a little bit in case that some friends get it in time we can read it together. If not that, I will just have to see what catches my fancy at the time that I get around to this one. And the final one is give a comforting book to someone who's going through a rough time. This one I probably won't do because I'm very glad to say that as far as I know, most people in my life are doing pretty well right now. And my mom's birthday is coming up soon, so I will already be giving her something, and she's probably just needs a break, you know. So that's it for the Cozyathon TBR, if you want to call it that. I have some other books on the go that I've started also. I just started Richard II by Shakespeare, which is one I really wanted to get around to for a while. I got this really gross copy of The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. I started this on audiobook some weeks back. I got like 20% of the way through it and then realized that the audiobook doesn't specify the translator, and I wanted to read this translation by Richard Pevear because it's supposed to be really good. It came out like 2006, and it's in this Penguin Classics Deluxe Edition. Well, I bought the book used, and it's got some really gross stuff on it. I frankly think I might cover it up with paper while I'm reading it, so I feel kind of weird. I usually don't get secondhand books that are this gross, but I'm enjoying it so far. Some other things I want to mention just cause. I am in the middle of Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is the book with a race of giant sentient spiders. I am an arachnophobe, and there's actually a spider right out the window. It's pretty big. I've tried moving it, or actually I've had my dad move it, and it's been knocked down like 3 times and it keeps coming back. I'm starting to empathize with it a little bit, and I attribute that to this book, frankly. I'm going to be reading at least a couple of stories from Iraq Plus 100, hopefully over the next 2 weeks, because it's been sitting on my nightstand for a while and I keep seeing it and thinking, I really should read some of the stories from that. It's gonna happen. And then I have The Sea and Summer by George Turner. This is another one of the Clark Award winners, like Children of Time is. Bookmark is trying to escape. And I really want to try it because I think this is basically 1980s climate science fiction in some way, but I really have to get into it to figure out if it is or not, but I'm really intrigued by it. So that, plus all the other stuff I showed you, I think that will be plenty for the next 2 weeks. So I'm gonna go eat some breakfast now. Hope you enjoyed whatever this turned out to be. I'll be back to talk to you again in a little while. While I can't promise much of anything video related, I have already filmed reviews of A Long Day in Litchford by Paul Cornell and Autonomous by Annalee Newitz, and those will be up over the next 2 weeks, plus anything else that I feel like talking about. So until then, bye.